Hello friends, welcome to Wow IS. This is the seventh part of the May 2023 current affairs, and in this we are going to cover the remaining part of the science and technology. This is our initiative in which we are providing you crisp summaries of the Vision Monthly magazine in not more than 50 pages. Along with it, you are also being provided video lectures. For availing the PDF, you can enroll in our course, which is at only 599 rupees. It is a limited period offer, and you can use this QR code to pay the fee and send us the receipt. Or the link is provided under the video. You can subscribe from that link also. So let's start with today's topic. The first topic is non-communicable diseases. Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has released the strategic operational guidelines for the National Program for Prevention and Control of the Non-Communicable Diseases 2023-24, and it is related with the management of the NCD in India. What are the other initiatives that have been taken? First of all, the one initiative is 75 by 25 initiative launched, in which 75 million people with hypertension and diabetes will be put on standard care by 2025 through public health centers, primary health centers. It will the largest cover of the NCD in the world for primary health care. Second one is Sakshat protocol. Then the Sakshat protocol, the training of the 40,000 primary healthcare medical officers on standard treatment workflow for NCDs will be initiated to realize healthcare services closer to the community. So Sakshat protocol is for the training purpose, and 75 by 25 initiative is to directly reach to those people who are suffering with hypertension and diabetes. Now, what are these guidelines that have been released? These have been released on the occasion of World Hypertension Day, which is a part of G20 co-branded event. The key highlights are the existing National Program for Prevention and Control of Cancer, Diabetes, Cardiovascular Disease and Stroke NPCDCS program has been renamed as National Program for Prevention and Control of Non-Communicable Diseases. It has also widened its ambit by including chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases and asthma, non-alcohol fatty liver diseases, Pradhan Mantri National Dialysis Program, etc. Comprehensive Primary Health Care Non-Communicable Diseases portal has been renamed as National NCD portal. So these have been the changes. The portal will enable population enumeration, risk assessment and screening of the 5 common NCDs. Now, what are NCDs or non-communicable diseases? See, communicable diseases are those which can be communicated from one person to another person. For example, COVID-19, it was a communicable disease. Tuberculosis, it is a communicable disease. Non-communicable diseases are those diseases which a person cannot communicate to the other person, a person cannot affect the other person. Now, there are 4 major types of non-communicable diseases. First one is cardiovascular diseases, then cancer, chronic respiratory diseases and other types. Other types include hypertension, dyslipidemia, obesity, metabolic syndrome, rheumatoid arthritis, cerebral vascular disease, then degenerative disc disease, sarcopenia and frailty, depression, cognitive impairment, diabetes, neurodegenerative diseases. Now, what are the factors behind NCD? Behavioral risk factor, unhealthy diet such as junk food, lack of physical activity due to sedentary lifestyle, use of tobacco causes most lung diseases, then alcohol consumption causing high blood pressure and heart diseases, psychological risk factor, then blood pressure because of low exercise, cholesterol due to smoking and unhealthy diet, obesity occurs due to high calorie foods, blood glucose due to stressful life, less sleep. Next is what is impact of NCDs. It is the largest cause of mortality in the world. Economic loss is estimated around $47 trillion due to NCDs by 2030. The decrease in labor force availability and their productivity. What are the stats for NCDs? 66% of total death due to NCD in India, according to WHO. 70% of 1% of the all deaths globally. It is also WHO data. Then 25.66 lakh deaths due to cardiovascular diseases and 11.46 lakh deaths due to chronic respiratory diseases. This data will be useful in your mains examination, so you can note it down. Next is what are the challenges with respect to handling NCDs in India. First of all, human resource. There is a lack of trained human resource. Then budget allocation is low. If you take the example in this year's budget 2023-24, only 289 crores have been allocated for the outlay of 500 crore, which was last year's allocation as compared to last year's allocation. Then poor implementation of plans, poor adherence to medication. People sometimes do not follow the treatment. Then changing lifestyle, because we have switched to sedentary lifestyle in urban areas especially, and it is driven by unchallenged aggressive marketing strategies of unhealthy foods and beverages and alcohol industry. Then global initiatives or NCDs. In this, the Global Coordination Mechanism on Non-Communicable Diseases, it is by WHO. It plays an important role in promoting action between government, civil society, organizations and other players for working to improve the health by preventing and controlling NCDs. Then NCD data portal, it aims to raise awareness of progress in tackling NCDs and their risk factor and strengthen accountability for action by countries. Next is initiatives taken by India to curb the NCDs. National Program for Prevention and Control of Cancer, Diabetes, Cardiovascular Diseases and Stroke NPCDCS program. It was launched in 2010 by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare under National Health Program. It is implemented to address the common NCDs like cardiovascular diseases and hypertension, etc. Second one is National Action Plan. It is again released by the same ministry in response to WHO's Global Action Plan for Prevention and Control of NCDs in 2030 to 2020. Objective was to reduce the premature deaths from NCDs by 25% by 2025. Third is healthy diet. It aims to promote Eat Right India movement, which will help to develop healthy diet plan and hence reduce chances of NCDs. Then physical activity. Fit India movement is implemented by Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports for improving physical activity. Now, what are the suggestions moving forward for NCDs? Multi-stakeholder approach. For example, civil society can increase awareness and educate the people on healthy lifestyles, improving access to healthcare, engaging communities in raising awareness and promoting healthy behaviors, private sector participation in promoting healthy products and services, regional collaboration in the countries like Southeast Asia region needed to create a new and effective regional roadmap for accelerated NCD control. The next is generic drugs. About generic medicine. A generic medicine or drug is a medication created to the same as an already marketed brand name drug in doses form, safety, strength, route to administration, quality, performance, characteristics and intended use. Presently, no definition of generic or branded medicine under Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940 Rules 1945. Regulation of generic medicines in India. Indian Medical Council Professional Conduct Etiquette Ethics Regulation 2002 by Medical Council of India. It prescribes every physician should prescribe drugs with generic names legibly and preferably in capital letters, and he or she shall ensure that there is a rational prescription and use of drugs. National Medical Commission Act 2019 by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare empowers the appropriate state medical council or ethics and medical registration board of the commission to take disciplinary action against a doctor for violation of provisions of the aforementioned regulations. Drugs and Cosmetic Rules 1945 amended by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare for making it mandatory to grant licenses for a drug formulation containing single active ingredient in the proper name only. Then Drugs Technical Advisory Board of India, it allows pharmacies to sell generic medicines to patients even if the prescriptions specifically specify the branded version. Highest decision making body under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare on technical matters related to the drugs. This is DTAB. The status of pharmaceuticals in India. The pharmaceuticals in India is the third largest in the world in terms of volume and 14th largest in terms of value. India is the largest provider of generic medicines globally and occupies 20% share in global supply by volume. Economic Survey 2022-23 estimated India's domestic pharmaceutical market to touch 130 billion by 2030. Then what are the initiatives to promote generic medicine? Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana was launched in 2008 by Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers. There will be centers that will be opened to ensure quality generic medicine drugs are available to the people. Next is National Health Mission, launched in 2008 again by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Its basic objective was to provide provisions for essential generic drugs free of cost in public health facilities. Next is PLI, Production Linked Incentive by Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizer. It is for promotion of domestic manufacturing of critical key starting materials, drug intermediaries, and active pharmaceutical ingredients. What are the reasons for promoting generic medicine? It improves medicine affordability. According to economic survey, last year's economic survey 22-23, 48.2% of the total health expenditure in India is financed by household out of pocket expenditure. Medicine constitutes 20 to 60% of the total healthcare expenditure. It creates competition. It helps in developing pharmaceutical sector. Under Make in India initiative, government promoting pharmaceutical sector and generic medicine provide opportunity for the same. Then expanding generic medicine export market. Currently, India supplies over 50% of Africa's requirement for generics and 40% of generic demand in US, 25% of medicine in UK. What are the challenges with respect to promoting generic medicine? First of all is illegitimate drugs. In 2018, Central Drugs Standard Control Organization identified 4.5% of all generic drugs circulated in domestic market are to be substandard. Then there is lack of testing facilities. Counterfeit medicine sellers are there that operate at retail level and procure substandard medicines from dubious suppliers. Then the perception of patient, there is a negative perception in the patient that the quality of medicine directly depends on the cost of it. Next, evergreening of patents. Under Indian Patent Act 1970, patents can be granted for a maximum 20 years only. Then import dependency for key starting materials, active pharmaceutical ingredients. India is heavily dependent on other countries for active pharmaceutical ingredients and other intermediaries. Next is KSM's a raw material, material, intermediate or an API is used in production of an API that is incorporated as a significant structural fragment into the structure of API. API, it is any substance or mixture of substance intended to be used in manufacturing of drug product and that when used in the production of a drug become an active ingredient of the drug product. So that is the definition of API. Next topic we have is small modular reactors. There is a report published by Niti Aayog titled Role of Small Modular Reactors in Energy Transition. It was recently released. So we have three types of reactor. Reactors which are having a capacity more than 700 megawatts. Then small modular reactors have a capacity up to 300 megawatts. And then micro reactors which have a capacity up to 10 megawatts. About SMR, according to IAEA, SMRs are advanced nuclear reactors with power generation capacity ranging from 30 megawatts to 300 megawatts. In 1940s 50, when small capacity nuclear reactors of various design were be used for the military purposes. So SMR traces its roots from 1950s and 40s and 50s. Now, what are the advantages of SMR? They are adaptable and scalable. Secondly, they have long refueling intervals. They need refueling after every 3 to 5 years, as opposed to every 1 or 2 years for the traditional plants. They have compact design. They have passive safety features. That its reliance on laws of physics to shut down and cool the reactor under abnormal circumstances provide inherent safety. In most cases, these reactors do not need a power supply and can handle accidents without the assistance of a person or a computer. A molten salt reactor with freeze stopper is an example of passive safety mechanism. So they have a passive safety mechanism. That means they don't need external support for safety precautions. Then they are economical. The capital requirement is low. They have a low capital expenditure is needed in them. Then what are the challenges? Technology choice issue. More than 80 SMR designs are at different stages of development and licensing. So that is one of the challenge. Then second is financing. So according to IEA, annual global investment required for nuclear expansion will be around USD 100 billion by 2030. Then there are issues with respect to licensing of these SMRs. Then supply chain issues are there. The supply chain for SMR may need consolidation in order to capitalize on economies of scale. and witnessed in the aviation industry. Then there are safeguard challenges and storage and disposal. Even SMR produce radioactive waste from spent fuel and require spent fuel storage and disposal facilities. Next is International Nuclear Liability Convention. So this is the list of conventions that are given for the nuclear liability. For example, Vienna Convention on Civil Liability of Nuclear Damage, then Convention on Supplementary Compensation for Nuclear Damage, Paris Convention on Third Party Liability in the field of nuclear energy, then Joint Protocol to the application of Vienna Convention and Paris Convention, Brussels Supplementary Convention to Paris Convention. So these are the conventions that you can note them down while discussing about nuclear liability. Then what are the various types of SMRs? So this is the type. One is land-based water-cooled SMRs, then marine-based water-cooled SMRs. Land-based means they are on land, marine-based means they are on floating units. Then high-temperature gas-cooled SMRs, liquid metal-cooled fast neutron spectrum SMRs, molten salt reactor SMRs, and micro-reactors. Micro-reactors have a capacity of less than 10 mega electrovatts. Next is facial recognition technology. It has been developed by Department of Technology, Ministry of Communication. It has developed an artificial intelligence based facial recognition tool called Artificial Intelligence and Facial Recognition Powered Solution for Telecom SIM Subscriber Verification. It will be launched under Sanchar Sarthi initiative. It will have a capability of running checks on subscriber database and telecom operators. So it will help in removing fraudulent SIM use or SIM subscribers. It can identify more than 8 SIM connections having been obtained in one person's name, which is not allowed as per DOT rules. So it will identify that if a person is having more than 8 SIM connections in his name. About Sanchar Sarthi portal, it helps citizens to know the mobile connections used in their names, report fraudulent or unrequired connections, block mobile phones which is stolen or lost, and check IMEI guide genuineness before buying a mobile phone. It contains certain modules like CEIR, Central Equipment Identity Register, Telecom Analytics for Fraud Management and Consumer Protection, TEFCOP. It facilitates a user to check the number of mobile connections taken in his or her name using paper-based document. Then ASTR to identify fraudulent use subscribers. Know your mobile connections to know mobile connection registered in your name. What are the benefits of it? It will help in fraud detection, crime investigation, airports. It will help in airports also. It will be a type of e-passport, reduces waste times and improves security. For example, DG Yatra initiative by Ministry of Civil Aviation promotes seamless and hassle-free experience at airports and simultaneously improves security. Then banking, ATM, cash withdrawals, check registers can use facial recognition for approving payments. Healthcare to gain access to patient records and streamline patient registration processes in a healthcare facility and auto-detect pain and emotions in the patient. Next is about facial recognition technology. It is a way of identifying or confirming an individual's identity using his or face. It can be used to identify people in photos, videos, or in real time. Privacy and consent, lack of control over storage extent and informed consent with respect to use of facial data by public and private players, resulting in privacy invasion. Then data protection law. In India, there is the absence of FRT, specific regulatory setup and legal framework. Recently, the government also withdrew Personal Data Protection Bill 2019. Inaccuracy, technical errors due to occlusion, bad lighting, facial expression, aging, etc. leading to inaccurate identification. And lastly, technological challenges. FRT is prone to digital attacks or the use of physical or digital portraits, 3D models such as mask, deepfakes, etc. to bypass the system. So these are the challenges. Next is supercomputers. The India supercomputer Eravat was ranked 75th in the top 500 global supercomputing list. This list is announced at the International Supercomputing Conference, which was held in Germany. Supercomputer is a high-performance computing system that delivers exceptional processing power and computational capacity compared to the general-purpose computer. Performance of supercomputer is measured in floating points per operations per second or flops, instead of the million instructions per second MIPS. Aryavat is installed at the CDAC at Pune in Maharashtra. It is India's largest and fastest AI supercomputing system, which has remarkable speed of 13,170 teraflops. AI system was installed as a part of government's National Program on Artificial Intelligence. According to CDEC, Eravat works on the operating system Ubuntu 20.04 2.2 LTS and was installed earlier this year at the center. Now, India and supercomputers. India's first supercomputer was Param 8000, set up in 1991. National Supercomputing Mission has provided acceleration to the in setting up of the supercomputers in a big way. What are the India's other supercomputers which are in top 500 list? So we have Param Siddhi AI supercomputer ranked as 131, Pratyush supercomputer ranked at 169, which is installed at Indian Institute of Topological Metrology. Then Mihir supercomputer number 316, which is installed at National Center for Medium Range Weather Forecasting. Top 5 supercomputers in top 500 list are Frontier supercomputer, Fugaku, Lumi, Leonardo and Summit. So they are basically from USA, Japan, Finland, Italy and USA. Applications of supercomputer. Cutting edge research. Supercomputers are used for data intensive and computation heavy scientific and engineering purposes such as quantum mechanics, weather forecasting. Second is aerospace and engineering. They run hugely detailed simulations in real time, processing complex algorithms and big data. Then AI ChatGPT was trained on supercomputer built exclusively for OpenAI by Microsoft. Weather forecasting. Pratyush supercomputer installed at IITM Pune helps in weather and climate forecasting. Then energy exploration. It helps to detect and accelerate deeper geological insights, hence improve the exploration and production processes. Next is health and medicine. It helps to find a drug that could work against the COVID-19. Supercomputers were employed to look through database of existing drug compounds. Then defense and military. Supercomputers have application related to national security, including nuclear weapons design and cryptography. It helps simulate complex weapon systems. Then something about National Supercomputing Mission, which was launched in 2015. Objective was to connect R&D institutions and academic institutions in country running a supercomputer grid with more than 70 high-performing supercomputing facilities. National Knowledge Network. These supercomputers will be networked on National Supercomputing Grid over NKN. It will be jointly steered by Department of Science and Technology and Department of Electronics and Information Technology. It is implemented by CDEC and IIC Bangalore. CDEC has been entrusted with the responsibility to design, develop, deployment and commissioning of the supercomputers under the mission. So this is about your National Supercomputing Mission. What are the objectives? India wants to become one of the world leaders in supercomputing and to enhance India's capability in solving grand challenges and problems of national and global relevance. Also, it wants to minimize the redundancies and duplication of efforts and optimize the investment in supercomputing. So this is the objective of your National Supercomputing Mission. In the phase 1, 6 supercomputers with 30% value addition was done in India. Then in the first phase, the focus was to create an ecosystem for assembly of system components within the country. In phase 2, manufacturing supercomputers in the country with an indigenous software stack. And in phase 3, focus was on design and manufacturing in country, expected to take supercomputing speed to 45 petaflops. The next topic is crypto mining. The Singapore-based BitDeer company and Bhutan have announced plan to raise $500 million to raise up crypto mining operations in Himalayas. That is free of carbon. And it will help in utilizing Bhutan's abundant hydroelectric power. The initiative was announced by Bhutan government's investment arm drug and Nasdaq listed crypto mining firm BitDeer to include the construction of data centers and investment in renewable energy such as hydropower and hydrogen. About cryptocurrency, it is a subset of virtual currencies and is decentralized and protected by cryptography. A virtual currency is a digital representation of the value that can be digitally traded and functions as medium of exchange, unit of account, a store of value. All cryptocurrency transactions are maintained via blockchain network and added to the digital ledger. Bitcoin is the largest in the world according to the market capitalization, followed by Ethereum. About crypto mining, it is the process. It is a process that several cryptocurrencies use to generate new coins and verify and process new transactions. It involves vast decentralized network of computers around the world that verify and secure blockchains, the virtual ledgers that document cryptocurrency transactions. Crypto mining is fundamental to proof of work cryptocurrency networks like Bitcoin. Proof of work and proof of stake use algorithms to validate cryptocurrency on a blockchain network. The main difference is how they choose and qualify users to add transactions. POW and POS are protocols intended to validate transactions, that is important, and they keep the blockchain network decentralized and secure. POW is a mechanism Bitcoin uses to regulate the creation of blocks and integrity of the network through the process of mining. POS is an alternate consensus mechanism that delegates control of the network to the owners of a given token. Different types of crypto mining. First is central processing unit mining, CPU, then graphics processing unit mining, GPU. CPU processes to mine cryptocurrencies. GPU mining uses one or more graphic cards to mine crypto. GPU mining mining of Bitcoin was launched in 2010, was fairly short-lived and got replaced by a new kind of hardware known as ASIC. The ASIC name is Application Specific Integrated Circuit Mining. It was explicitly designed for POW computations, perform far faster than general purpose computing devices like GPUs or CPUs. Other types include field programmable gate array mining, cloud mining, etc. Crypto mining is not always profitable due to intense competition, excessive mining equipment, and high electricity prices. Now this graph is showing you how the crypto mining works. So you can read it from here. It is a simple one. Next is news and short. NavIC, navigation by Indian Constellation. ISRO has launched the second part of it, known as NVS-01. It is India's second generation satellites, which was envisaged under NavIC. What are the key highlights of this? Its weight is 2,232 kg, and it is the heaviest in the constellation, which was launched through GSLV rocket. It will have an indigenously developed rubidium atomic clock for precise, accurate location. Then it has a mission life of 12 years, which is more than its first generation one that has a life of 10 years only. It will send signals in third frequency L1, which increases interoperability with other satellite-based navigation systems. NavIC's earlier name was Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System, which has 7 satellites. 3 satellites were replaced by geostationary orbit. 4 satellites were placed in inclined geosynchronous orbit. NavIC offers 2 services: standard position service for civilian use and restricted services for strategic users. These 2 services are provided in both L5 and S band. Next is application. This regional navigation satellite system the application is terrestrial, aerial, marine navigation, disaster management, precise timing, scientific research, etc. Navigation system around the world. 4 global satellite-based navigation systems are currently operational: US GPS, Russian GLONASS, Japanese have a 4 satellite system which augments GPS system. Then you have Europeans Galileo and Chinese Bidu. So these are the 4 navigation systems that are in operation in world today, and along with India's one. Next is X-ray Polarimeter satellite XPoSat mission. ISRO, in collaboration with the Raman Research Institution, is going to build XPoSat, which will be launched later in 2023. It will be India's first dedicated polarimeter mission to study various dynamics of bright astronomical X-ray sources in extreme condition. It is world's second polarimeter mission after NASA's Imaging X-ray Polarimeter Explorer. It will carry 2 scientific payloads in low Earth orbit. First one is primary payload of POLIX. The full form is Polarimeter Instrument in X-rays will measure polarimeter parameters, degree and angle of polarization in energy in the range of 8 to 30 kilo electron volt. The first payload in medium X-ray energy band is dedicated to polarimeter measurements. Second is expect X-ray spectrometry timing. It will give spectroscopic information on how light is absorbed and emitted by the object's energy transition from 0.8 to 15 kilo electron volts. It observes several types of sources like X-ray pulsars, black hole binaries, low magnetic field neutron stars, etc. Polarimeter is a technique to measure the polarization of light. Next one is Japan's private moon lander. Japan's iSpace will attempt the first private moon landing. Said its attempt to make the first private moon landing has failed after losing contact with Hokkaido R mission M1. About Hokkaido R mission 1, the Hokkaido lander launched atop SpaceX rocket from Cape Canaveral, Florida. The lander also carries a rover developed in United Arab Emirates. The Rashid rover would have exploded the Atlas crater on the northeast of the moon. Next is a sign in space project. European Space Agency ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter TGO has flashed an encoded message to Earth from its orbit around Mars. ExoMars TGO is searching for methane and other trace gases in the Martian atmosphere that could provide evidence for the possible biological or geological activity. The orbiter is first in the series of joint missions between ESA and Roscosmos, the Russian space agency. It will have an encoded message, a sign in space project, stimulating a signal in advanced extraterrestrial civilization could eventually send to Earth. Next is new belts of asteroid. James Webb Space Telescope JWST spots new belts of asteroids near star Fomalhaut. Observations were two additional dusty rings of belt near Fomalhaut, a bright inner one and a narrow intermediate one. Dust around star contain elements such as carbon and iron which can help form planetary systems. Fomalhaut is the brightest star in the southern constellation of Perseus Austrinus. It is almost twice the mass and size of Sun and radiates over 16 times of Sun's energy. A single belt of debris around this star was discovered in 1983. JWST, NASA's infrared flagship observatory, is an international collaboration between NASA, European Space Agency, and Canadian Space Agency. It is placed in Sun-Earth Lagrange point 2L2. JWST is being considered as a successor of Hubble Space Telescope. Now, next news is exoplanet. A new Jupiter-sized exoplanet called TOI 4603b or HD 245134b is with highest density known till date and mass 13 times that of Jupiter has been discovered. It is located 731 light years away and orbits a subgiant F-type star TOI 4603. An exoplanet is any planet beyond our solar system. This planet falls into transmission mass range of massive giant planets and low mass brown dwarfs with masses ranging from 11 to 16 times the mass of Jupiter. Brown dwarfs are objects which have a size between that of a giant planet like Jupiter and that of a small star. Discovery is made using indigenously made PRL Advanced Radial Velocity Abu Sky Research Spectrograph PARAS and Mount Abu by international team led by Indian scientists from Physical Research Laboratory, Ahmedabad. Other exoplanets discovered by India are K2-236b in 2018 and TOI 1789b in 2021. Next news is about Saturn. 62 new moons around Saturn have been detected. It is the sixth planet from Sun and the second largest planet of our solar system. Saturn is mostly made of hydrogen and helium and it has the rings made of chunks of ice and rock. Missions related to Saturn are Pioneer 11, Voyage 1, 2 and Cassini. So these missions are important for you. Next is Telangana's robotic policy framework. Telangana is the first state to launch such state robotics framework. Then Quad's Open Radio Access Network RAN security. Quad leaders at the summit in Hiroshima have made a significant announcement to strengthen the security architecture architecture known as Open RAN, beginning with Palau, country in the West Pacific region. Pacific region. This initiative will modernize Palau's national mobile network, establish an open RAN deployment in partnership with the local stakeholders, and supports its sustainable operation. Open RAN security report outlines cyber security considerations associated with using Open RAN as an approach to developing network architecture. RAN provides the critical technology to connect users to mobile network over radio waves. It also acts as a bridge to access all key applications of the web. The benefits of Open RAN are intelligent and programmable networks, lower total cost of ownership, automation and manageability, data center economics to radio networks, vendor diversity, agility of innovation, faster time to market. Then Health for All report. It has been released by WHO. It was launched at the ongoing 76th World Health Assembly, and the report provides a roadmap for structuring economic activity to ensure health for all. It was released by WHO Council on Economics of Health and Health for All, formed in 2020 in response to COVID-19 pandemic to assess how health and well-being are valued, produced and distributed across the economy. Report provides recommendations for shifting economic thinking to ensure health for all across four interrelated pillars. Now, the World Health Assembly, it is a decision-making body of WHO, which has annual meetings at Geneva, Switzerland. It is attended by delegates from all WHO member states and focuses on specific health agenda prepared by the executive board. The main functions are to determine policies of an organization, appoint the DG, finalize, supervise financial policies, etc. Then end to COVID as PHEIC. WHO has declared end to COVID as public health emergency of international concern. It is based upon the recommendation of the 15th meeting of International Health Regulation IHR Emergency Committee. The declaration to end COVID-19 was made due to decreasing trend in COVID-19 deaths, decreasing trend of hospitalization and intensive care unit admissions, and high level population immunity to SARS-CoV-2 virus. This PHEIC is defined in IHR 2005 as an extraordinary event which is determined to constitute a public health risk to other states through international spread of disease and to potentially require a coordinated international response. It is an instrument of international law that is legally binding on 196 countries including 194 WHO member states. Then next is monkeypox. WHO has entered the global health emergency for MPox also. It is a viral disease commonly found in Australia and Africa, and has infected more than 80,000 people in 2022. This virus is a member of Poxviridae family, which is genetically similar to other pox viruses. It spreads through close contact with an infected individual and can be transmitted from animals too. The symptoms are fever, rashes, swollen lymph nodes, headaches, etc. Next is respiratory syncytial virus RSV. US Food and Drug Administration has approved GSK's RSV, world's first RSV vaccine for older adults. Human RSV is a globally prevalent cause to lower respiratory tract infection in all age groups. In infants and young children, first infection may cause severe bronchitis that can sometimes be fatal. RSV belongs to the genus Orthopneumonia virus within the family Pneumonoviridae, order Mononigella virilis. The member of these genus includes human RSV, bovine RSV, and murine pneumonia virus. Then Thalassemia Bal Sewa Yojana. It has been launched by the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare as the third phase of TBSY. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has been implementing this scheme since 2017 under National Health Mission. TSBY is a Coal India CSR funding hematopoietic stem cell transplant program that provides one-time cure opportunity to underprivileged thalassemia patients. Thalassemia is an inherited blood disorder caused when body does not make enough of a protein called hemoglobin, which helps the red blood cells to carry oxygen. It can cause anemia. Then International Pathogen Surveillance Network, it has been launched by WHO as a global network to help swiftly detect threats from infection diseases like COVID-19 and share information to prevent their spread. Then Acinetobacter Baumannii, the scientists have used AI to discover a new antibiotic abaucin that can deadly superbug Acinetobacter Baumannii. So you have to remember that this is a super bug, this Acinetobacter Baumannii. It is a group of bacteria. Acinetobacter is a group of bacteria found in environment like soil and water. It causes infections. Most common cause of infection is through this bacteria only, which accounts for most Acinetobacter infections in humans. It causes infection in blood, urine tract, drugs, or in wounds. Then human organs and tissue transplant. Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs notified Metro Rail Amendment Rules 2023 to allow transportation of human organs or tissues or both for organ transplant through Metro Rail. Existing rules prohibited carrying of blood, dried or coagulated or decomposed, whether human or animal, corpses, carcasses or dead animals or dead birds, bones, human skeleton, part of human body, etc. Also, portable radio devices which poses a risk to radio communication network and communication-based traffic control signaling network are also prohibited in metro rail services. Now, these rules have been amended. Next is trans fat. WHO Trans Fat Elimination Validation Program open for countries is now open for countries application. This program recognizes member states for having a normative framework to eliminate industrially produced trans fatty acids from their natural food supplies. 44 countries including India have best practice policies in effect for eliminating TFAs and can receive official certificate. Trans fats are unsaturated fats produced from vegetable oils and are commonly used in preparation of margarine and commercially baked or fried foods. There are two forms of trans fat: naturally occurring trans fats and industrially procured trans fats. Next is trans fats are source of non-communicable diseases associated with increased risk of heart attacks, deaths from coronary diseases, heart diseases. Then next is rice fortification. Fortification is the practice of deliberately increasing the content of one or more micronutrients in food or condiments to improve nutritional quality of the food supply. Food fortification is regulated under Food Safety Standard Fortification of Food Regulation 2018. Under rice fortification, micronutrients such as iron, vitamin B12, folic acid are added for nutritional boost. Benefits of rice fortification. Combating malnutrition and anemia is a cost-effective manner as malnutrition cost India at least 77,000 crore annually in terms of lost productivity, illness and death. Prevent cretinism, goiter, thyrotoxicosis, brain damage and improves fetal and neonatal health. Then fission molybdenum. Prime Minister has dedicated the molybdenum-99 production facility located at Trombay campus of the Baba Atomic Research Center to the nation. Molybdenum-99 is the parent isotope of technetium-99m, which is a short-lived gamma-emitting isotope. Tc-99m is used for detection of diseases and for the study of organ structure and functions. Now, this is especially used for nuclear medicine procedures because it can be chemically incorporated into small molecule lignins and proteins. Then radiometric dating, this is the last topic. The calcium-41 can be used in radiometric dating such as carbon-14 is used currently. Carbon dating by using the technique that will be useful will be atomic trace analysis. What is radiometric dating? Radiocarbon dating or carbon-14 dating is a scientific method that can accurately determine the age of organic materials. Working, when an organic entity is alive, its body keeps absorbing and losing carbon-14 molecules. When it dies, this process stops and the extent carbon-14 starts to decay away. Using the difference between the relative abundance of these atoms in the body and the number that should have been there, researchers can estimate when the entity died. Limitations with carbon-14: it is an unstable and weak radioactive isotope of carbon. It has a half-life of 5700 years and it cannot determine the age of object older than approximately 50,000 years. So with this we complete our today's session, we shall return with tomorrow with the culture part. Thank you very much and have a nice day.